Hello, I'm Jay, and today I'm going to be filling out the last page of my sketchbook. First, I looked up a reference photo, which the drawing looked nothing like, and started sketching. Since this was my first video, it was really hard to keep my head out of the shot, and I had to have really good posture, and it felt so unnatural. I also felt a lot of pressure to try and make this spread good to show what type of art I make as a first impression, but as I drew, I loosened up and I still like how the page turned out. I struggled with perfectionism a lot, not just in my art, so I think this channel will help me to learn not to be so perfect. I like imperfect art a lot of the time. It just gives a charm that perfection and super clean line work and everything like that doesn't have. I like making my sketches messy and scribbly, and my line work is normally just scribbling, chicken scratching back and forth with a ballpoint pen, and I like how that looks. This isn't entirely about perfection, but I like adding character to my art, so even if I'm drawing something semi-realistic, I'll add like lines or random scribbles or swirls here and there, because I think it adds character and expresses myself. Now I'm coloring with the Arrtx acrylic brush pens, and it was my first time using them in a real piece, but because I just recently got them, and all I did before this was color random doodles to try them out, and even though some of my pens were drier than others, I still liked using them a lot, but the juicier ones were a lot better. Normally I use alcohol markers like Ohuhu's, so using these pens, which are much more opaque, felt kind of like using digital art, because you could layer on top of stuff and it doesn't really matter if you make a lot of mistakes, because you can just go over it again and it's really nice. So they're definitely different to use, but I like it a lot. It's good to add details with these pens because you can get fine points with it because of the brush nib, and you can go over stuff and it doesn't all blend together like alcohol markers would. So I'd recommend them to people who like confident strokes, I guess, but also lenience. If you're an artist, I'd love to hear what your favorite medium to use or favorite thing to draw is. I personally like drawing people a lot because I grew up on Art YouTube in 2020. But medium-wise, I like using colored pencils because for some reason I'm really good at them, even though I've spent a lot more time in alcohol markers trying to draw people and copy YouTubers. Lately, I've been getting into drawing more landscapes though, and it's fun to draw landscapes with these markers, even though I've only drawn one, which you'll see in this video later. But drawing landscapes, my favorite medium is probably gouache, because I like the feel it gives to it, even though it's hard to not make my colors muddy when using gouache. I'm so glad that I added the brown here because I think it makes everything pop a lot more, and it's not a harsh color either like black would have been, and it goes with everything. You can probably start telling what I mean when I said that the finished piece looks nothing like the reference, but I'm still happy with how it looks because I think she looks really cool. I like the green on her cheeks. I just noticed that. Voicing this video over is making me realize how much I repeat my same words, and I guess I don't have as big of a vocabulary as I thought I did, even though I'm in honors English. It was so fun adding all the highlights and shadows with these markers, and the yellow that I chose to do for the nose highlights looked so good. Now I had the idea to draw an exit sign because it's the last page of my sketchbook, and that's kind of like exiting the sketchbook, I guess. And it was fun to try to make it look like it was glowing, and it was easy to do with these markers, I'd say. I'm pretty sure this is my first time drawing an exit sign too, so yay for trying something new, because I'm definitely a victim of drawing the same things over and over again, like people. I just realized that I had my colored pencils next to me the whole time, and I didn't use them once. I'll use them next time, I promise. I find it cool how someone's art can look so different based on what medium they're using, because if you saw this and then saw my colored pencil art, there's a good chance you'd think that they're from a different artist or just very different days. This makes me question when people say that the medium you're using doesn't matter, that you could use water-based colored Crayola pencils or something, or you could use Ohuhu markers and you'd still have the same thing because it depends on the talent. But I don't think that's true because they're very different mediums and you use them differently, so it would count what medium they're using. Because if I used cheap colored pencils, it's a lot harder to use than my Prismacolors because they're just not as easy to work with, and that could mean that someone's a lot better artist than they are if they got to use the expensive brands. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't make art if you don't have expensive materials. Adding the yellow here was definitely the best part of this exit sign drawing, and I'm very glad I did it. An art trait of mine is adding random splotches of color like I'm doing here to fill up space and make the page look more interesting. And I kind of regret using this yellow because it doesn't really go with the rest of the page, but I still add that, and that's definitely a rule I go by when filling out my sketchbook. Another rule is that if in doubt, just add stars everywhere, which you will see. Now I'm gonna draw a flower. I'm pretty sure those were hibiscus flowers. Sorry the reference was so blurry, by the way. My favorite part of doing this doodle was definitely coloring it. I got to use a lot of bright colors and it went really well with the exit sign. Surprisingly, like, who would think that putting a flower and an exit sign together would go well? But it works. Something I struggle with when filling out my sketchbook pages is composition, because I just don't plan out my pages as well as I probably should if I want to have a full piece. So I think I'll work on that in my next sketchbook, and I'm so proud of how this one turned out. It took me almost 10 months to finish this sketchbook, but in the last 3, I feel like I've really improved, and this sketchbook has helped me a ton to learn and try new things. Like, I tried figure drawing for the first time, and I went ham at it. I put up like 5 pages in one night, I want to say, but it was really helpful, and I learned from watching other art YouTubers like Sketches of Shay. She helped me a lot. Making this first video made me realize how much actually goes into making art YouTube videos, and I give big props to all the pros out there, because this is pretty hard. So far, I think the hardest part has been finding topics to fulfill 20 minutes. So if anyone has any topics, art topics, or other topics too that you'd like me to discuss, then you can recommend them in the comments, and that'd be great. Now I'm just adding some extra details to the girl I drew, and I'm really glad I did because I think it helps out a lot. And I also like the outline I did on the star. It pulls everything together. It can be pretty risky adding details like this after the fact, because you could accidentally ruin it, but in this case I'm really happy I did this because I just think it makes it look a lot better and it looks very painty, which I like. Now I'm drawing that landscape that I mentioned earlier, and I really like this reference photo. It has very cool colors and it feels kind of surreal. Like, imagine being that photographer. I'd feel so peaceful there. I definitely think it goes with the rest of the page, but I don't know if I captured the feeling that the original photo has. I'm glad that I added the smoke coming out of the chimney in this house, which isn't in the reference photo, and I think it makes the drawing look cozier and kind of like more alive. I really like the pink sky in this drawing because it gives it a cartoony look, and I think the markers also help push that, even though I wasn't really going for cartoon. Again, I love the smoke I added because it's so cozy. I can almost smell the campfire. I think the fun of this drawing and a lot of the other drawings with these markers is adding the details, because I don't know, it's fun adding details with opaque markers compared to alcohol markers. I'm glad these markers are lenient because right here, I made a mistake, but I was easily able to clean it up and forget it ever happened. I kind of like how swatch papers look, and they're kind of like a mini thought process through the making of your art, because you figure out what colors you like and all the trial and error, but in scribbles. I like how the leaf drawing here pulls everything together, and it actually goes with the other drawings like the nature scene and the hibiscus flower, unlike the exit sign. But maybe the exit sign is just some symbolic symbol saying that nature's a retreat, but it's totally not. It just looked cool, but I totally could trick someone. I'm adding some finishing touches now, like stars, who would have guessed, and adding the date too. It's actually really nice to letter with these, so if you're into calligraphy, I'd recommend these for that. Now for the other side, I was kind of running out of motivation to draw good things, so Yippee came to the rescue. Yippee! And he's cute, so it was a good addition. And I drew confetti around him and called it a day. I think he's excited because I finally finished my sketchbook, because 10 months is a long time. And with that, and a few more stars, the last page of my 11th sketchbook is finished. I'm happy with how it turned out, and I'm so thankful for you watching this video. Have a good day, and remember you're loved.